Welcome to the Progress video series, which will be a series of videos at regular intervals explaining the builds I am working on, the major progress on them, builds that I've just started, and maybe other things such as potential future projects. So we start off though with the Ariane 5 Echo, a variant of the Ariane 5 launcher. Built in the 80s and currently used as Europe's launch vehicle for satellites in orbit or geostationary orbit or other orbits. Launched in Kourou, French Guiana in South America. This model here is fully operational at this moment in time, and we'll go on to the Mission Control Center, which is situated here. So now we move on to the Ariane 5 Echo launch or Mission Control Center. It was initially built just for the Ariane 5 ES, another model, but it's pretty much cross-compatible as none of the payload informations are done here. It's a pretty small center. It's got what it needs. It has some spare space in fact. And you have various monitors, some controls, but not too much for the Ariane 5, as the rocket itself is pretty independent and doesn't require too much external help. Here we also have a very basic board for switching the sources, something pretty helpful. And here you can see you have cameras of everything you may need to see. For example, why not the rocket itself from far, or the launcher, or the booster, or even anything. And now that's here for the firing, but we need to be able to follow telemetry from when the rocket goes further, and that's exactly where we're going now. Next up, still related to Ariane 5 Echo, is a project still a bit more mobile than the Ariane 5 launch center itself. It was developed due to the first inauguration flight of the Ariane 5 Iran, which ended up in the ocean after a telemetry issue, which could not overwrite faulty data that I had stored. And this is why we came up with this. This would be a telemetry van. It can be deployed on the field. Yeah, I'll show you retract in a second. Currently it is deployed about 9 kilometers off of the Creative Island, quite along the path of the Ariane 5. Inside I'll show you. Pretty basic in here, and you have here all for most of the telemetry data. You can switch the inputs. For example, we go 350, 450. I mean, you get the data displayed here. Yeah, and you also have data, for example, video data. And here you can monitor the rocket itself from a distance. It's mainly for the Ariane 5, but I plan on making this a bit more universal. It also has weather equipment, which can be displayed here. And so we get rain factor, wind speed, humidity factor. Just the basics to kind of monitor it. So now we moved on to the folded version. So this is its folded transport version. As you can see, it's quite small for what it would be. The truck itself is based on some of the armored trucks used in France or in Europe in general, few back in the 80s and 90s. I'll show you a quick deployment featuring broken pivots, obviously. And here we have it. It goes quite high up thanks to pneumatic pistons in the game. And the idea is that it's deployed anywhere when needed for telemetry on path generally. as the current in-game, the largest antennas in-game only have a range of 20 kilometers, which you can see can cause a problem quite quickly. And although I've come up with modified files for getting some that go a good 200, which is a bit more sufficient. So with that done, we will move on to the next build, which is... So now we move on to my only current work in progress non-military vehicle, and that is what is called the VAB, or Véhicule de l'Avant Blindé, which means front armored vehicle. It is a French troop transport vehicle, still in use today, but a bit less now, for general service. Right, about it has quite large back compared to its size. It features a top hatch, if I can get on, and here you can access the front compartment, which houses the engine right behind this, and a passenger and driver. It's quite relatively small. It has its hatches on the sides, along with a central hatch and individual hatches for looking out or whatever you deem necessary to do inside. If I can stand up in it, there we go. It is functional at the moment. Like most of my builds are functional. This one is a bit more of I did not finish other variants of this model, but I could in theory post this on a workshop publicly. This variant also features the window shield, and other things. It might get some changes before it's published. So yeah, that's about it all today, at least at this moment. I will try to post a bit more, just kind of get a bit going if anyone's interested. I will also post later this weekend or in the beginning of the week another project I've been working on, but I've been keeping it a bit relatively hidden from the public at the moment. And yes, and I will let you go off with quite nice view of the Ariane 5. Thank you for watching, and if you want to subscribe or at least leave a like, just to see if anyone actually likes the content I try to make. And have a good day.